Yeah, so there's a officer-involved shooting here at the IHOP. From what I heard, there was also somebody else shot in the IHOP, and there's also two teenage deaths in North Minneapolis, not too far from here. That's the information I've been able to receive so far. I'm sure there'll be more released here shortly. The police have cordoned off the area. I've actually had a lot of friends that have worked at this IHOP over the years. So this really hits home. I know this place has been unsafe before with issues that have happened here. You can see the entire area is cordoned off here. There's a mobile command unit. This is in Brooklyn Center that this happened. The Brooklyn Center IHOP. Let's see. You can see the police have this road shut down right now, all the way down. Police tape. Yep, this just happened. Not too long ago. They got that police tape up fast. This is the IHOP in Brooklyn Center where there was a shooting. Officer involved. The Minnesota BCA is here as well. There's a very large police presence, at least 30 vehicles surrounding us right now. You can see somebody. Well, it might spark protest, but there's a lot that could happen. You know, for all I know, there could have been a shooting inside IHOP. So there's no real proof that this was unjustified yet. There might have been a gunman that got shot in responding to the police. We don't know yet. So there's a lot of unknowns still. I heard Dante Wright's mother has stopped by here and interacted with some of the live streamers. You know, at this point, I think they're just securing the crime scene and waiting for the head honcho investigators to show up so there could be more clear information exactly what happened. I'm gonna walk around a little bit here. You can see somebody driving underneath here. Maybe they're a police officer or something. You can see this entire street is closed down. This is a very busy street here in Brooklyn Center. So for those just tuning in, there's been an officer-involved shooting here at the IHOP in Brooklyn Center. You can see the mobile command for the Brooklyn Center Police is here. This is definitely going to be leading the nightly news tonight. can see they have a large amount of police tape here. Hey Jason, welcome to the chat, and thank you Shane for popping in. This is the Brooklyn Center IHOP. Here in Brooklyn Center, there's also been other officer-involved shootings with Kim Potter. She's out of prison now, from what I understand. And there's been a lot of changes to the policing model since that shooting. Well, I'm doing good. But, so I've had friends that, you know, very close friends of mine work at this IHOP throughout the years. And this really hits home, you know, because I knew there was going to be something happening at this IHOP at some point. Yeah, take care of yourself, Jason. You can see we got media over there. Looks like there might be some investigators walking into that IHOP now. Yeah, this is in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Yep, that's the BCA right there going in to the IHOP right now. So the crime scene has been secured, and it seems like it's entering the investigative period. I'm sure that there'll be a press release here shortly from the police chief of Brooklyn Center. And I've also heard that there were... Brooklyn Center is the area that Dante Wright was shot and killed by Kim Potter, who claimed that she was reaching for her taser. So that's why you've probably heard of Brooklyn Center before. We don't know if this is justified, unjustified yet. People asking about whether there's going to be protests. You know, I think we are going to hold off until we get more information. But we'll see what ends up happening. And yeah, Kim Potter is out of prison now, from what I'm aware of. So there was an officer-involved shooting inside that IHOP. We've seen investigators enter the building. Most of the media has cleared out. I don't think there's going to be any type of press release outside here. It's too cold. My guess is the press release will probably happen at the police station for Brooklyn Center. It is really cold out here right now. Maybe about 5-10 degrees. I haven't looked recently, but I know it's cold. I can feel it piercing. Looks like they're getting evidence bags out of those police vehicles. I'm going to have to go online and figure out exactly what's happening. Because, of course, the police aren't going to interact with us, media, right now, as they do their investigation. So we're going to have to probably wait for the press release to really get the truth of the matter of what happened, or at least the police's version of events. You can see here, they've got boxes, so... And you can see that there's cones over here. So it looks like there was also some shooting or bullets. Usually they place those if there were bullets, shells. And I think you can see some on the ground there, some of the shells. So... And you can see the guy arriving in the suit. That's how you know somebody's a head honcho there. So I think we're moving on from securing the crime scene phase to the actual investigation. Yeah, if you see, there's yellow and there's orange cones. So the yellow ones might have a different meaning. I'm unsure. But I definitely know that those are put there because of the shells that were fired. And it looks like there might even be a gun there on the ground too. So it looks like there was a police response to some event here in the IHOP. There might have been, somebody who was shot in the IHOP, and then the suspect was engaged by police. And then I've also heard word that there was also possibly another shooting in North Minneapolis as well. Okay, I'll have to check out that video on Facebook. Thank you for that, Shane. Okay, somebody who actually witnessed the shooting, okay. Okay, thank you for that, Shane. So they said that they were running and police shot them in the back multiple times. Do we know if that person who was shot in the back shot anybody else? Or is there any justification given for why they were shot in the back? just got some information from somebody that ATF is here, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So there is a federal response also happening. And more media showing up across the street there. So this is definitely going to be on the nightly news here in Minnesota. And it may make national news too. We'll see. I don't believe an officer was shot. I believe the officer did do a shooting. There's officer-involved shooting. If you're going to see here that there's bullets over here, my guess is that's from a police response to the situation. But it could have just happened outside. There could have been somebody shot as well. But I don't see any blood or anything over there. So my guess is that's where the police responded to. We got more. Looks like we got more people arriving who are involved in this investigation that are not showing up in cop cars. It looks like they're looking at any... Oh, they got a drone up to get some footage right now, if you see. It's an officer, it looks like, of the BCA using that drone to get an overall image of what happened here. And I'm sure they're going to try and locate every camera angle that they can. My friends have been cooks there at this IHOP for years. There's an officer-involved shooting that has happened. If you look over here, there's cones set up. Those are for the shell fragments, or the shells, fired shots that they're probably engaging a suspect. Officer-involved shooting here in Brooklyn Center is what has happened. From what I heard, there is one death inside of the IHOP. It's police band. There's the... Hey. Do you know any idea where there's going to be a press release at?
It'll probably be either online or through Brooklyn Center.
Yeah, but you don't know the location it's going to be held at? Okay, thank you, sir. So if anybody can figure out where that press release is going to... Oh,
Did you see anything?
No, I did not.
Oh, you came out?
Yeah, I'm media.
All right.
So he was just checking in with me to see if I did see anything. I'm sure they want to get everybody's viewpoint of what happened, so they can try and get to the truth of the matter. We got drones flying in the air. This is the IHOP here in Brooklyn Center, a place I'm very familiar with, where an officer-involved shooting, and it sounds like somebody did die inside of the IHOP. And from what I heard, somebody was shot in the back as well by the police. So that aspect may spark protests. It is very cold right now, but it should be warming up here in the next few days. And when that happens, along with here, I wouldn't doubt that there will be protests if somebody was in fact shot in the back by police. Well, yeah, that's what we're trying to, determine right now. There isn't a huge amount of evidence that has been released yet by the police. The police currently just put up a drone where they're getting a full shot. There's an officer-involved shooting. Somebody inside the IHOP is dead, and there was a witness that said that somebody was shot in the back. So that's the information I've got right now. Yeah, well, the person shot in the back might be alive.
Yeah.
So
that's the one that's landing in IHOP.
But there's also somebody dead in IHOP too. So from what I've heard, yeah. And I mean, my friends have been worked there for years now, so this really does hit close to home.
I used to go to that bitch. That's crazy.
Yeah. So we got people coming back, from work for the day, walking home. Yeah, we're going to need body cam footage to really understand what happened. I'm sure it won't be released overnight. But Brooklyn Center is a more progressive liberal city here, as it is right next to Minneapolis. I do know a couple of the city council members myself. And I'm sure they would probably push for releasing the body cam footage pretty fast so that people can have the truth of what's going on. So if you look down here, we got police all the way down blocking off the road, so nobody can drive down here who is not a part of the investigation. The sidewalk is still open on this side so pedestrians can move along. You can see the sheriff moving off right now. So this is in Hennepin County, so that's a Hennepin County sheriff right there. Multiple police agencies, the Minnesota BCA, the ATF is here. And if you know anything about this IHOP, on the other side of there is a back door that goes to the kitchen. And a lot of the times that thing will be unlocked or propped open. Because it can get really hot in that kitchen, so they'll prop open the back door. For the people just joining us, there's an officer-involved shooting. A witness claims that one of the suspects in this shooting was shot in the back. Yeah, my friends have worked at this IHOP for years. So, don't want to get too much into it, but, I'm a partaker of the green leaf, and we've smoked together and whatnot, many times with the employees there. They're cool, chill people. So, here in Brooklyn Center, there can be competing cliques. And the person shot inside the building could have just ran into somebody, who was up to no good, and then that suspect got shot, or there could have been multiple, because I heard in North Minneapolis there was also 2 people shot as well. That might just be the fog of war. I don't know. So if anybody has any information in the chat, I'd love to hear it. We're trying to get the most truth we can of what happened. We got somebody talking with the police over there trying to perhaps, they saw something and are letting the officer know what they saw, or just talking with them, hard to tell. I know an officer asked me, if I saw anything, and I didn't. I responded once I saw and heard about this happening, as I have friends that work at this IHOP. So from what I heard, though, that they're not involved. Today was their day off. Today's a Monday. It's one of the slower days at IHOP. This is in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. This is the same city where Dante Wright was shot by Kim Potter when she claimed that she was reaching for her taser. And if in fact somebody was shot in the back, this might spur protests. The only way I could see it not spawning protests is if the person shot in the back was in fact a killer themselves. At this point, if it is true that somebody was shot in the back, that's the only way I could see there not being protests, is if they killed somebody first. Otherwise, there absolutely probably will be protests if in fact police shot somebody in the back who didn't deserve it. And if you look over in this section right here where there's police cars, there's also some small cones there. They put those cones up for shell fragments. So there was shots fired from the middle of that intersection. But there's also police inside right now and state investigators that are on scene at this IHOP. Inside, they're going, you can see them walking around in there, or I can at least. It's kind of hard to see from my phone camera, I bet. But they're walking around and doing an investigation, looking for, all the bullet fragments probably. I don't see any bullet holes in the windows, though. We're by the Cub Foods here in Brooklyn Center. There used to be a Walmart over here on the other side, but that closed down. Walmart actually pulled out, and that was a big hit on the city. I do know that. And same thing, there was also an LA Fitness over here that also shut down, and that was due to, crime and gangs and that kind of thing, cliques going off at each other, is what they claim the reason why they were pulling out, basically. So it doesn't surprise me that something happened here at IHOP. As it's two competing people that have a grudge or a beef. They run into each other in the IHOP, an argument happens, and next thing you know, somebody's killed. And when there's a shooting, maybe the police responded and got that suspect. That's the information I'm going off now, but I could be completely wrong on this. So don't take my words as gospel. There is the fog of war. We don't know everything yet. I'm hoping to find out where there's going to be the press conference and go to that tonight so we can do a live stream there and hear exactly what is going on. You can see there's another door right there that's open right now with an investigator standing outside trying to get a hold of someone. Talking on the phone there. No, this is not an ICE-involved shooting as far as I'm aware. This is local police. here in Brooklyn Center. Chief O'Hara's at the other, okay. So there is, in fact, another shooting in North Minneapolis where I heard 2 people were shot in that one. I'm unsure if it's related to this incident or not. Because once you're looking at a life sentence, you know, people will go off. And, you know, my heart goes out to all the families that are impacted by the events of today. Officer-involved shooting in Brooklyn Center, and then there's also a shooting in North Minneapolis. So, one of the witnesses that has spoken with other media said that they saw somebody get shot in the back by the police. I was not here to witness it. So it's getting pretty cold, guys. I appreciate you stopping in on the stream. I'm going to find out where the press conference is for the events that happened tonight. Or I should say this afternoon is when the shooting went down. So stay tuned. I was expecting to, in the next couple days, there was going to be a protest at the governor's mansion I was going to go cover. But this might end up taking precedence. We'll see how the events play out with this shooting. You can see they're taking down the drone right now. So they went and got a drone shot of the entire crime scene. Looks like to have that in evidence. Well, that's the issue, you know, with having a drug war is it increases crime rate. When gangs who sell the drugs and cliques fight over the area. And if you look at alcohol prohibition, when that ended, the murder rate and the shooting rate dropped dramatically in Minneapolis. That's a historical fact. So I would like to see some type of change so that we can lower the death rate and take away the income source for the gangs that empower them and what causes them to really fight over the turf. Yeah, and for the people just tuning in, you know, I've had friends that have been working at this IHOP for years. So it looks like there might be some employees that are still inside this building. I don't know if they are an employee or an investigator or not.
What happened?
Somebody got shot in the back by an officer, apparently.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
I hope you don't die mad.
Well, you know, somebody was just going into Little Caesars here and asked me what happened. I'm going to go get on the internet, see what I can figure out of where the press conference is going to happen. So subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification so you get all of my live streams sent right to your phone. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a good night. God bless.